Oh, you thought Meghan Markle's Netflix deal was just quietly falling apart? Buckle up. What you're about to hear isn't just a little drama. This is the kind of behind-the-scenes meltdown that has Hollywood shook. So here's how it all started. Meghan Markle had this glitzy deal with Netflix. Lights, cameras, red carpets, the whole dream. But fast forward a bit and things have spiraled so wildly out of control that even Netflix insiders are calling it one of the most chaotic fallouts they've ever seen. Yes, ever. The tipping point? A private screening for season 2 of her show, With Love, Meghan. And no, this wasn't just any casual preview. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos was there. Not just him, top execs, cast members, the full crew, all gathered for what was supposed to be a proud, celebratory moment. But honey, what happened next was anything but celebratory. At first, everything seemed okay. People were watching the first few episodes, and then the feedback started rolling in. Respectful, constructive criticism, you know. But there were real problems, like continuity issues, weird jump cuts, and even basic grammar errors in Meghan's dialogue. Still, people were being professional until Meghan snapped. Right there, next to Ted Sarandos, Meghan's voice boomed through the room. She accused the crew, yes, the same people who'd worked insane hours on her show, of being hecklers. She said their feedback didn't matter. She dismissed their work. She said they were trying to sabotage her. And get this, she actually told them they wouldn't even be at Netflix if it weren't for her. Oh yes, she demanded gratitude. Said they owed her a thank you. But when the room went silent, no applause, no validation, it broke her. That silence? It was deafening for her. She stormed out. No apology, no explanation, just a harsh warning. Anyone who dared criticize her again would never make it in the industry. Yup, that happened. People in that room were shaken. Some said they felt threatened. Others just looked disappointed. They had believed in Meghan's vision. They worked their butts off. But now, they couldn't even recognize the person they signed up to work with. Days later, Netflix made it official. They pulled the plug. No season 3, no side projects, no future Meghan Markle content. And it wasn't even because the show was bad, it was her behavior. That outburst was the final straw. Behind the scenes, both Netflix co-CEOs, Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters were already over it. Meghan tried desperately to claw her way back, begging for one last shot, a standalone special, a redemption arc, something. But Netflix shut the door and locked it. Still thinking she had control, Meghan called a private meeting with her executive producers the next day. She tried to flip the script, claimed the screening was a setup, said she was ambushed, that Netflix was throwing her under the bus to hide their own post-production mess. She demanded re-edits, ordered future screenings to be approved by her personally. But behind her back, one of her own producers immediately emailed Netflix to say, "We're done." They called the situation untenable. And then, the floodgates opened. More crew members started reporting past behavior, allegations of her being controlling, dismissive, even downright rude. One wardrobe assistant said she publicly called their selections cheap. Another crew member said Meghan refused to film unless lighting made her look presidential. The vibe had turned toxic, fast. It wasn't always like this. In the beginning, Netflix had been excited. Meghan's pitch was filled with heart. She wanted to highlight inspiring women, global travel, meaningful stories. But somewhere along the way, things changed. The show stopped being about others and became all about her. Her name, her face, her voice, front and center in every episode. Creative consultants left. PR teams gave up. Netflix executives stopped showing up to meetings. Internally, people joked that working on Meghan's show felt like trying to polish a melting statue. Still, Meghan thought she could salvage it. She pitched wild new concepts, a luxury shopping show, a spiritual travel docuseries, even a podcast visual hybrid that confused everyone. Every time, radio silence. Eventually, it wasn't just Netflix. Her entire brand began to crumble. Stylists ghosted her. Advisors disappeared. Agencies stopped returning her calls. One major PR firm, the same one that helped craft her post-royal image, dropped her. Just like that. Hollywood, once charmed by her, now saw her as a warning sign. Not because she wasn't talented, but because she burned through goodwill like wildfire. One studio exec reportedly said, "You can be demanding, but you can't be delusional." Meghan's out here acting like she's Oprah and Beyonce rolled into one. Ouch. And that quote, it's circulated fast. But here's the strange part. Meghan acted like none of it was happening. She showed up at a charity gala weeks later in a designer gown, smiling for cameras like everything was perfect. But behind closed doors, her team was in full-blown panic mode. No offers, no projects, no backup plans. She tried podcasting again, pitched an unscripted truth format. Nobody wanted it. Spotify had already dumped her. Other platforms refused to touch it. Next came the Instagram reboot. New pics, inspirational quotes, a total rebrand attempt, but it flopped. Comments were brutal, engagement was dead, and finally, Finally, Meghan cracked. She started calling old friends in the middle of the night, asking why they weren't defending her online, obsessively checking gossip forums, refreshing her own headlines. Her world was spinning out. So, in a last-ditch move, she sent a personal email to Ted Sarandos. She proposed a raw, emotional special, said she'd fund it herself, let Netflix have full creative control. Just give her a chance. Ted didn't respond. His assistant forwarded the email to legal. That was it. That was the moment it was really, truly over. No official statement, no press release, just silence. Meetings disappeared, projects were canceled, her name, once a draw, now came with warning signs, and in Hollywood, where image is everything, Meghan Markle had lost hers. Not just fired, erased, deliberately, quietly, completely. She had the world's attention, a global platform, every door wide open, and then she screamed and slammed them all shut herself. Once news of Meghan's Netflix fallout began circulating, and trust me, it spread like wildfire, the industry couldn't stop whispering, and not just execs in boardrooms. Makeup artists, personal assistants, stylists, interns, they were all talking. Whispers turned into group chats turned into leaks. Anonymous insiders started sharing receipts, voice notes, emails, casual stories from on set, all painting the same picture. This wasn't a one-time meltdown. Meghan had been spiraling for months. And you know Hollywood, once they smell chaos, they run. PR firms began distancing themselves publicly. One firm even said, off the record, of course, Meghan's too hot to handle and not in the way she thinks. Yikes. And in an industry run by optics, she had none left. Let's talk about her brand for a second, because this wasn't just a Netflix collapse, it was an identity collapse. Her team tried to salvage it with a soft rebrand. New website, new logo, a pastel color scheme meant to evoke calm leadership, inspirational messaging like own your light and stand in your truth, but it fell flat. Audiences saw through it. The comments on her new posts were brutal, gaslighting with good lighting. Queen of victimhood? Try owning your mistakes, not just your light. And those viral tweets, you've seen them. Meghan Markle lost a Netflix deal because she treated everyone like interns in a freshman drama class. Ouch. Even brands that once wanted her face on campaigns began backing away. Luxury fashion houses not returning her calls, clean beauty brands choosing newer influencers. Meghan had officially become radioactive. With doors closing left and right, Meghan's team came up with one final play. A live event, intimate, exclusive, filmed. Meghan on stage with a few celebrity friends talking about resilience, motherhood, identity, and of course her journey. The plan? Sell it to Apple TV or Prime Video as a modern Raw special. Think Oprah meets TED Talk. She even reached out to a few A-list actresses to join. You know what happened? 2 declined immediately. 1 didn't even reply. And one, who had been a longtime friend, told her point blank, "You need to step back. Not speak louder." That was it. The special never happened. The pitch was dead. No one would touch it. And that silence, from companies, celebrities, fans, even Harry, said everything. Here's the tragic irony. Meghan had everything. Platform, power, attention. She could have used it to elevate others, to create truly powerful content. Instead, she made it all about herself. The travel series became a glam reel, the empowering interviews, over-edited PR fluff, the documentaries, one-sided narratives with no room for honesty. She stopped listening. And Hollywood, it noticed. What started as a revolutionary royal-turned-producer moment turned into a textbook case of what not to do when given influence. One Netflix executive was overheard saying, "We didn't fire Meghan. She walked herself out the door with a megaphone." Damn! So where is Meghan Markle now? She's still in California, still living in that massive Montecito estate. But now it's quieter. No film crews, no stylists buzzing around, no assistants scheduling 5 interviews a week. Insiders say she spends more time alone, still refreshes headlines, still checks gossip forums, still thinks the tide might turn, but it hasn't. Studios aren't reaching out, streaming platforms have moved on. Even podcast networks, the low barrier entry point of media, have stopped answering her emails. She's no longer the center of the conversation. She's barely in the room. And the saddest part? She doesn't seem to know it's over. Meghan Markle didn't just lose a contract, she lost the trust of her crew, the backing of Netflix, the interest of fans, and the goodwill of an industry that once rolled out the red carpet for her. All because she screamed, not just at the audience in that Netflix room, but at everyone who tried to help her grow. Now she stands where few ever expect to be, out of deals, out of allies, and out of time. Hollywood moves fast, and when it turns its back, it doesn't look over its shoulder. The Meghan Markle story? It could have been inspiring, transformative, a true redemption arc. Instead, it's a cautionary tale with a brutal lesson. Never believe your own hype more than you value the people helping you build it, because the second you do, the applause stops, and all you hear is the echo.